Hello, everybody. I am the Linkzilla, and, well, depending on your perspective, welcome to what could be the final episode of Sonic Heroes, even though the Sonic Heroes series will continue after this. Here we are, basically about to do the final story, and at the time of this recording, it's actually Christmas Eve, but this video is not going to be up by Christmas Eve, so it doesn't really matter. I just hope that you all had a Merry Christmas back, I guess, about a month ago at this point. Hope that you guys enjoy this video. When we last left off, we defeated the rather frustrating final levels with Team Chaotix. We got the final Chaos Emerald and the final challenge A ranks, and now there's only one thing left to do. This won't take all that long because, well, this is actually relatively short. In fact, most of this video is actually going to be cutscenes and credits. And maybe I might show off some other things to do. Well, we've got all four teams at 100%, but if you keep going to the left, if you keep going to the right, you can now move past Team Chaotix. And I like the fact that basically, the perspectives on the characters change just the slightest bit. Now Vector, who is looking straight at you in this angle, is now looking off to the side. And you can even see more of Shadow's face. A little bit more. The last story. Only one thing left to do.
I think I see the silhouette of the real villain!
The real villain. So, I guess it's time we find out what Metal Sonic was up to. I was so proud of myself when I was a kid when I unlocked this, because I spent months trying to get the yellow Chaos Emerald.
Then who was it? Who locked you up here for trying to conquer the world?
Why isn't Eggman covered in bruises and bee stings?
It was...
Somebody locked him up there. Metal Sonic. This is really the first big game appearance he's had since CD. He did, basically appear in several other Sonic games, but... I think this was the first time the series really established him as a powerhouse villain. The fact that this is really the first time he's shown this level of autonomy. He destroyed the tower and is now building himself a new body. If there's one thing that I don't like about this cutscene is that you can actually tell that they keep replaying the same footage over and over, just from different camera angles and zoom close-ups. We've seen that. We've definitely seen that. Seen that. And we just saw that. There's the tail. He's the most versatile of Eggman's robots.
Metal Sonic has finally transformed!
So that's Metal Sonic?
It's useless! Metal Sonic has combined your data with the power of chaos and is super strong! We can't defeat it! If only we had the 7 Chaos Emeralds!
Pay attention now. Cream has the yellow one, Big the purple, Rouge the silver, Omega the green, Espio and Charmy have the red and teal ones. Just as I said.
Just leave that
And Sonic has the blue one.
No, I'm going with you too!
Tails.
You can count me in, too.
Knuckles.
Okay, guys. We'll buy you some time. That way you can use your superpowers.
Okay then, let's get ready to do this. We'll show that creep the real superpower of teamwork!
Right. So, basically, to pretty much recap what happened, that pretty much, like, confirms it, that what Metal Sonic was up to is that he was collecting the data of both Shadow and Sonic, Metal Madness, and the reason he kidnapped Froggy and Chocola was that he actually was researching their connection with Chaos, so somehow or another, he's used the data that he's collected on all of them, as well as basically his research into Chaos's power, and transformed himself into this monster version of himself. This weird-looking hedgehog dragon thing, Metal Madness. So, all this time, he was basically the one who was planning to take over the world, and he took the guise of Eggman because he knew it would lead Sonic into a trap, probably basically to keep Sonic at a level of, I guess, uncertainty. But then again, does that also mean that because he also needed the data on Shadow? Now, there's a theory that I could basically go into with Metal Sonic and Shadow, but I think I better wait until the next game in order to talk about it, because ultimately, as it stands right now, Metal Sonic should either not know better, or maybe he does know better. I don't know. So anyway, I really do like the characterization that was going on in that cutscene, because they're all basically trusting Sonic with the Chaos Emeralds that they've collected. And, even to the point, the fact that basically, like, Eggman is the one who's giving exposition into all of this, and everyone there knows that Eggman is their enemy, but they're willing to listen to him because there's a bigger threat at present. Even Omega, whose basic mission is to kill Eggman as revenge for being left behind and abandoned, is willing to basically, like, just not... should outright be trying to kill Eggman right there, but his priorities are on something else right now. But anyway, the whole point of this battle is that you get to use all 4 teams. The first 3 teams are actually stalling for time so that Sonic and his team can go around collecting enough rings in order to use... Well, we'll get to that.
You're the one pretending to be Sonic. You're the one responsible for...
I actually haven't done this in a while.
You're going to pay for this.
The thing that I actually find to be, like, a great help when it comes to basically, like, doing this battle is that you can actually carry over Team Blasts onto the next team, with the exception of Team Sonic, of course, because there's a cutscene in the way. So, I would say that the goal is to basically fight him, use Team Blast at least once, but then rack up another Team Blast to carry into the next team. Now you look at that power core, it's blue.
We're done. You guys ready?
It's too late. Ready anytime.
Now we're on the other side. We're Team Chaotic.
Incomplete, please.
Now's the time to strike!
And now the core changes to red, an indication that strength formation, power, vector, is useless.
Let's go.
I'll take the lead.
So whenever he changes color, you just change up whatever formation you attack him with until he changes again.
I'll take the lead.
Watch out for the missiles he shoots from his fingers. They create crystal domes that trap your characters. If all 3 get trapped, you lose.
I'll take the lead.
Here we go!
I'll take the lead.
Most attention to the colors on his weak spot. Yellow means fly formation is useless against him, and red means power formation attacks the useless. Here we go!
And you only get a set amount of rings, so watch it.
We're almost done here! Now it's up to you!
This victory shall soon turn into despair.
Team Dark is the one that's really gonna basically...
I'll take it from here.
You're the one who
do the most damage, I think.
And that's supposed to make you tough?
Target acquisition. Sights locked on. Metal Sonic.
Oh, please, fool. If Shadow actually wanted to, he would have basically ended this by now. But I think that Shadow is basically, like, still confused as to what's really happening. He's just gotten back into the game, as it were. Alright. Please don't be red.
Annihilation. Fire, fire.
He can still change color even while he's frozen.
Annihilate. Fire, fire.
I'll take it from here!
Annihilate. Fire, fire.
Sonic, we're counting on you.
Appropriate to have a robot overlord rule a robot kingdom.
Right, that's phase 1 down. Honestly, this was my favorite part of the game because Sonic 2 was probably my favorite of the original Sonic games. It's a game that basically not only introduced the concept of a robotic version of Sonic in the form of Silver Sonic, but I just think that's just a prototype version of Metal anyway. It also introduced the 7th Chaos Emerald and the little tidbit bonus that goes with it. This. Super Sonic. That's what I like about the 3D Sonic games. Every single one ends with a final story that lets you go super. Now don't get me wrong, would I prefer it if they would go back to the old days where you could access Super Sonic whenever you have obtained all 7 emeralds in the game? Yeah, but... Oh yeah, this music by Crush 40.
Crystal attack using your speed! Sonic, you can do it!
Now, basically you heard his dialogue earlier. He called Sonic his loathsome copy. Now, the thing with Metal Sonic is, he is so driven to beat Sonic, to prove that he's superior to him, that he's actually become delusional. He is an insane robot. He believes that he's actually the real Sonic, and that Sonic is actually a copy of him. Isn't that friggin' messed up? Anyway, as you guys have noticed, I can't actually attack him. Because the only way to hurt him at this point is to use Team Blast. Super Sonic Overdrive.
Of course!
He's shooting those missiles.
You actually thought you could defeat me by transforming into a monster?
But this is kind of weird, though, because essentially what you have here is a battle between two opponents that literally can't be hurt. So, this is one of my favorites, though. Hey, way to go, Knuckles. So really, what this is just a war of attrition. It's a race against time.
Powerful punches, okay? Don't hold back anything!
Because effectively, even though the Team Blasts are working, Metal Sonic is pretty much depending on Sonic and his friends running out of time. I like the fact that, like, the other characters are sending advice to the team. Wait, he's using... It's too soon for this!
Now, you won't be able to use super transformation if you lose all your rings!
He used Chaos Control, and yet we're still moving through the sky, because there go the balloons. Ah, good thing the explosions are still here. Now, the thing about it is, you can't let this fight go on for too long. You have to hit him with Team Blast at least 5 times, because if not, you eventually run out of balloons with rings. So it's either you beat him then or it's bust. I think this makes 4. I'm getting all the camera angles here.
Man,
Is he invincible?
it's not over yet. Let's show him what we're made of.
You're a machine. What were you afraid of? Here we come. It's over now. I hope that's the thumbnail, that close-up on Supersonic.
The ultimate overlord, Metal Sonic. Real Sonic.
Yeah, we did it!
That was pretty tough. Too bad it's all over. For you!
Sucks that Knuckles can't be in the frame. How did I get the alternate one? And that is an all-A rank, ladies and gentlemen. 20 emblems and 142 A ranks. You can now play expert race stages in 2-play mode. That form that he's in now is technically Neo Metal Sonic. He's reverting back to his normal state.
Because we're Sonic Heroes.
We're the protagonists, dude. It's a rule.
Anytime you want a rematch, just let me know. I'll be waiting.
Hey, Sonic, wait up! Sorry to leave like this, but I can't let my Sonic get away! Good luck,
Sonic sure has his hands full.
I guess I'm out of here too. I think I'll go hunt for someone else's treasure.
She never gives up, does she? Oh, no, you don't.
I ship it.
Guess that's it for this case.
Guess so.
But what about our money?
Man, I almost forgot. That slime ball!
Egghead's in trouble. Huh. What are they gonna do with him?
All right! Our next adventure awaits us, so there's no time to waste. Yeah! We're Sonic Heroes!
And the game's theme song plays. So, that is the story of Sonic Heroes. All this time it was a ploy set up by Metal Sonic to become ultra powerful and take over the world to instill his robot empire. But his real goal was to finally prove that he was better than the real Sonic, or that he was the real Sonic. I love this game. It has so much nostalgia from my childhood, and I really do believe that the game isn't nearly as bad as people say that it is. Now, don't get me wrong, all the while that I was playing it, I wasn't blind to the fact that the game can occasionally do things that ultimately kind of result in your deaths in a lot of ways, and that can be frustrating. But like I said, you can't fight against the game. You ultimately have to go with it at some times, because I realize that every single time the game threw me off the edge, it was because I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. Like, take for example, like certain scenes where you basically are flung from a pad and have to land on a railing. Sometimes you have to trust the game to land you on your feet where you're needed to be, because if you keep pressing forward on the analog stick, you're going to go too far and miss it. So that's what I learned from years of playing this game. I was just really rusty when it came to this playthrough because it's been years. But in the end, this game is just mad fun. It's oozing with personality, dripping with just fun, beautiful colors. It's fun, and I really like it. And even though the story isn't exactly its strongest suit, I actually think that this could have struck a balance with what fans of the old Sonic games and what the new 3D Sonic games were trying to push, because this game does have story, but the story is largely background. It's basically not all that important. It's the motivation of what drives each character, but at the end of the day, they're just moving from one random location to the next, much like in the original Sonic games. Hero Parade, Sonic Heroes. Too bad that we don't get the cutscene of Super Sonic, though. Sonic Heroes. And I do like the mechanic of switching in between characters. The only problem is they haven't really brought that back, and the only way that they have is in Sonic Boom. Oh well, c'est la vie. Try Super Hard Mode. Yep, Super Hard Mode. Like I said, if I had basically not gotten an A rank on the final boss, it would have told me get an all A rank, and then I would have to go and do the boss again. But I managed to get all A's. I have... Hold on one second. I have all 120 A emblems, and I have all 141 A ranks. That's basically all I can do for the story mode. When it comes to the extras, you get the CG theater, where you can basically watch all the cutscenes from every single team and playthrough. The only problem is that they leave out the music. They don't let you listen to the music that's supposed to be there, which makes some of the scenes look really awkward, like really silent. Like, you know the end of Team Sonic's story when Amy basically shows up and starts chasing Sonic again? The Team Sonic theme song's supposed to be playing, and it's supposed to basically give you this lively and energetic feeling, supposed to make you laugh, but without it, it's just it's just Knuckles and Tails watching awkwardly as Sonic gets chased away by his stalker. And then, like, that last cutscene where, right before the credits roll, where it says, yeah, we're Sonic Heroes. They do the flash jump and they pose frozen in place without the music. That scene looks awkward as hell. So, but yeah. And there's also the audio room, where you get to listen to all of the theme music with every single stage. I personally love all the theme songs. Team Chaotix is probably my favorite, and the Metal Overlord music is awesome. It's called "What I'm Made Of" by Crush 40. It's a great song. But those are just basically rewards and bonuses for having beaten the entire game, I think. I would show you 2-play mode, but I need a second controller, and I don't want to go digging right now. So, I guess the only thing left to do is Super Hard Mode, which I am going to do, but I don't think I want to go into it just yet, because we just beat the Sonic Heroes story mode, as well as all the other challenge missions. I kind of want to let that sit for a while. Let Sonic Heroes just sort of digest in your minds, kind of, and give it a sense of finality. And then, basically, I'll come back and do Super Hard Mode, and I might even show off some 2-player mode, too.
Hard mode and become a true hero!
In order to basically show you guys. In Super Hard Mode, you only have to play as Team Sonic, which is good, so you don't have to play as all 4 teams, but the levels in Team Sonic are actually much more difficult. The layout and the challenges, and I'm just gonna say it, Team Sonic probably isn't the best team, because when it comes to it, the other characters just have more range in their attacks. Knuckles probably Knuckles' best attack is definitely hitting the ground and making that impact with the volcanic explosion, but that only has so far of a reach, whereas Omega, Vector, and Big, they all basically have like a much greater reach than Knuckles does. So it ultimately feels like Knuckles, like Team Sonic in general, has the short end of the stick. But still, that is basically the story of Sonic Heroes Complete, and all the game completed. So, wonder if there's somewhere I can go where the... that's more like it. So, how would I basically say this game is as a whole? Well, I will be the first to admit that this game isn't perfect, but then again, perfection is a flaw, so you shouldn't want your games to be perfect either. I feel like this game is a game that you really have to get used to, and like I said at the beginning of this, is that it would make me a complete hypocrite by saying that I don't really like how Doom Eternal was, because it's a game that forces you to conform to how it is played, and yet basically give games like this, Sonic Heroes, a pass, because even though I would definitely say that this game is easier to pick up and go with than Doom Eternal, it still basically forces you to kind of conform to how it is played. And I'm not just talking about the different control schemes, because in the grand scheme of things, this game is largely different from any other Sonic game by the fact that you can play as multiple characters all at the same time and switch between them just at the click of a button. Usually when it comes to playing as different characters, you have entire stages dedicated to them, whereas here, it's in the middle of the action. It's a part of the action. You switch between characters just as much as Doom Eternal forces you to switch between weapons. Now, maybe the argument could be made that it's basically like Doom Eternal radically changed it up so differently from Doom 2016. However, Sonic Heroes radically changed it up from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. So, I guess it's really a situation. So, my guess is that if you have a grudge against this game, if it comes down to it that you feel like the game is broken, glitchy, buggy as hell, and feels like it's intentionally throwing you off the stage, just take a minute, sit back, and breathe, and instead of complaining about the game, learn to adapt to it. Figure out that maybe it was what you were doing that actually got you killed, because if you get frustrated, I understand, you're not going to have all that much of a good time, and you're going to want to take it out on the game. However, you're never going to basically make progress if you keep blaming the game and don't try to learn from it. So, because it's basically like what I did the last time I played with Team Chaotix. I was so hell-bent on getting a good time, because as you guys know, the time is probably the most crucial factor when it comes to evaluating your score at the end of it. The time bonus is what tips you over the edge, that is the difference between an A or a B, and so with completing the level basically just over 2 minutes, that's an incredible time for the final mission. So, how is it that the time bonus still wasn't enough to give me the A rank? So, the more I kept trying, the harder and harder the game was punishing me for it, until finally I decided that this wasn't working. It's clearly not what the game wants me to do. So, instead, I went through the entire level, and I basically was able to rack up enough points to get the A rank, and I feel like I really deserved it at that point, because I had been at it for just so long. Anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is, this game really is tragically underrated, in my opinion. I think that people are largely soft on it, because even though they admit that the game is, flawed, it's still fun as hell. If you really have the means, I highly suggest picking this up. Now, I don't know if like Nintendo has been like in the business of like remastering Sonic games, but if they were to release a port of Sonic Heroes on the Switch, I'd totally jump onto that. Not just a port, but an HD remaster, basically making this game more up to date with like modern day graphics. However, that can also be a double-edged sword because I love the graphics of this game, and I feel like from experience, when it comes to updating graphics on the old graphics look better because the game and the world the characters exist in were based on those old graphics, and thus their blocky, more or less old style of graphics, it kind of works to the aesthetic of the game because, well, take Conker's Bad Fur Day, for example. That game was literally designed to look like a cartoon, so when the HD remake came along, put out by Microsoft, the game really did not look good when compared to the original. It lost a lot of its charm, and I could say the same thing about the Ocarina of Time 3DS remake, but anyway, the one thing that Nintendo would definitely have to do is actually allow the Switch GameCube controllers to be compatible with Sonic Heroes. Seriously, Nintendo, you release a HD remaster of Super Mario Sunshine, a game made for the GameCube, specifically for the controls of the GameCube, and you don't let us use the fucking GameCube controller with it? Are you guys insane? But anyways, when it comes to the story, it's pretty weak. The story is literally just, I think, just an excuse for why all these fantastic characters are coming together, working as a team, but I ultimately like it. I do like the story. It's simplistic, and I like finding through lines through it. I like finding out what characters were where, what characters got there first, what characters were actually beat which boss. I really do like that. It gives my mind something to think about. Now, and I gotta say, I love what they did with Metal Sonic in this game. Unfortunately, as far as I know, it's really the last time that Metal Sonic got this level of props that he deserves, because you remember that last scene with Omega and Shadow with Metal Sonic's basically, I guess, he's not deactivated, but he's just in low power mode. His low powered state, well, it's interesting because, well, for the one thing, Omega hails himself as the ultimate of Eggman's robots and seeks to destroy all of Eggman's robots. And yet, instead of destroying Metal Sonic in this vulnerable state, it looks like he's actually kind of cradling him like almost like a wounded child or something. Now, you would think that Omega would be insanely jealous of Metal Sonic because technically Metal Sonic is far more superior than Omega is, but the thing about it is that I think that Omega largely has a great deal of respect for Metal Sonic because of the idea that he sort of sees a camaraderie in him. The prospect of the fact that Metal Sonic rebelled against Dr. Eggman, he could see him as a potential ally. And then there's Shadow. Shadow's entire worldview has been shattered. He woke up just a few days ago having no memory of who he is or how he got in that capsule, in that secret base, and now the implications have been made that he's actually just an android, a copy of the original Shadow the Hedgehog. So, Shadow in that scene could also see himself in Metal Sonic, basically a robot that's been designed to look like an organic living hedgehog that is tragically only a copy. So I honestly thought that when it came to future games, they were going to explore that idea with Metal Sonic basically being with Omega and Shadow, and they would basically kind of be taking care of him, and the three of them would basically kind of work together to just find their place in the universe, just basically like eke out some kind of existence together. But unfortunately, they never really followed up on that, as the next time we see Metal Sonic, he's not only back under Eggman's control, but it seems like he's been modified. The AI has been restricted so that now he no longer has sentience. He's just once again being back to Eggman's servant. However, I think there is one game, what's it called? Sonic Rivals, I think, where I think basically Dr. Egg, where you can have the option, I think, of playing as Shadow the Hedgehog, where Dr. Eggman kind of like employs Shadow to help him, and he ends up teaming up Shadow with Metal Sonic, and Shadow actually expresses a great deal of concern for Metal Sonic because, well, let's say that Shadow is artificial, then it's almost like he and Metal Sonic are kind of like brothers in a sort of way. So I sense that basically there's like a whole lot of camaraderie there. I'm just saying that Sega team had the opportunity to write a whole lot of interesting sequels when it came to this, and I really wish that we had gotten a Sonic Heroes 2. But it wasn't to be, and I've long since given up hope on waiting for like this specific control scheme to come back, because I honestly don't think that Nintendo is ever going to reach a same high of gaming perfection as the GameCube controller. Everything about this controller just feels so natural and organic in your hand, because like the PS2 and Xbox controllers, they're just too simple. They're boring by comparison with the cross-shaped buttons and whatnot. Here, the buttons flow around the central A button, and it gives you a kind of more organic feeling to it. It's more comfortable in your hand, I might say. So, anyways, I feel like I've gushed enough about the game. I think that it's a solid game, and I really enjoy it.
You can change the speaker output setting here.
Game data.
You can change the save file.
Change the save file? What? That takes you right back to the front menu? That's funny. Well, at least now I know that I could have skipped the entire intro. Well, I've basically talked about this for about 17 minutes. Great game, really solid game, and I really enjoy it. And I really hope that you guys have enjoyed my playthrough. If you liked it, please leave a comment down in the comment section below, like it, and share it with your friends. You want to keep up to date with more Sonic Heroes and other content coming from me in the future, then be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do when it comes to potential Sonic games for a while, but what I do know is that Sonic Heroes probably marked a the beginning of a rather dark time in the 3D Sonic game history, one that I don't necessarily feel like it deserved, because Sonic Heroes was followed up by a very controversial entry in the Sonic franchise. And we will get to that one soon. It's finally time that the story start giving us some answers. I hope that you guys enjoy. Later.